Okay. And we have nobody from the public here this evening, and you are all welcome to come in anytime you'd like. We love hearing from the public. So let's move right on. Oh, no, sorry. Let's get on with the vote to approve the minutes of the February 11th meeting.
I vote to approve.
Okay, second.
I'll second that.
Second with Ken. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's get into the trustees report. And we had a couple of things. Most of these things I'm going to bring up under new business, but one of the things we had talked about at the last meeting was coming up with the mission statement for, is that in here?
Yeah, so it is in,
Go
there is a copy of the draft mission
Yes,
statement in
perfect.
everybody's folder.
We are not voting on it tonight. I wanted everyone to have a chance to look at it and review it, and if they wanted to bring any comments forward, great. If you let me know ahead of time if they're just things like Scrivener's errors, we can just make those changes easy enough. But has everyone's just gotten it tonight, I guess, because I didn't send it out. All right, so that's this page in your folder. I don't know if you all just want to take a minute and look at it and see if anyone's got any comments now. I can read it to you since people are listening. The trustees of the library, trustees, are responsible for the overall sustained growth of the library and the funds under the care of the trustees. As a result, the trustees shall make decisions based upon sound financial judgment and may consult with advisors or institutions. The library director shall also regularly inform the trustees of any issues concerning the library's financial status and well-being. Any financial decisions by the trustees about the library are subject to approval and shall be free from any conflict of interest, whether actual or apparent, and the trustees shall be indemnified for such decisions if necessary. Financial decisions by the trustees shall focus on the library's long-term advancement, ensuring growth in services that meet the needs of the community. For example, such decisions may include 1, preservation, protection, and advancement of any archival materials in the library's care or custody, such as digitization, and then 2, disbursement of funds in the library's portfolio based upon percentages recommended by the trustees' financial advisors to ensure future growth. Or 3, other strategic priorities as identified by the trustees and library director. In general, the trustees shall not direct funds to matters within the responsibility of the town of Danvers, such as the maintenance, upkeep, and construction of the library building. And that's what we have. So again, I know everybody wanted an opportunity to look things over before we vote. Reasonable. So I'd like everybody to go ahead, take this home, look it over. If you've got any comments, let me know. And if you're happy with it, we'll vote on it at the next meeting.
Yeah, actually, I have a question.
Okay.
The last sentence,
Mm-hmm.
Responsibility of such as maintenance, upkeep, or construction of the library building, should that also include the grounds?
Yeah, we don't even own the grounds, so yes.
Okay.
Then same with the building, which is why.
Do you want to add? Do you want to add that?
Would you want to add that in?
I think
Just
we
for-
should, yes.
Okay. The library buildings and building and grounds.
And town-owned grounds. I don't know.
Make sure it's clear the
I'm
town
sorry,
owns-
what did you say?
town owns
Not
the
the
grounds.
park.
Town-owned grounds.
Library grounds.
And library grounds.
Yes, library grounds.
Okay,
'cause
perfect.
there's
Good
a lot
suggestion.
of confusion about the park.
Well, believe it or not, according to Richard Trask in the town, the grounds, it's a common. It's considered a common,
The library grounds?
yes.
Oh. Okay.
According to former town manager Steve Barther and Richard Trask, the grounds are considered by a, what did I just say?
You said a common.
A common.
Okay.
All right. Okay, good suggestion. Anything else before we move on?
Yes, Madam Chair, the first paragraph, that word, I like that word, but however, I don't think we are at this point. Shall be indemnified for each decision if necessary. indemnification is so important, and I would hope that we be indemnified, but at this point, I'm not sure that we are on anything we do.
So this-
Okay, so do you want, yeah, I got it. So do you
Well, I
want, if
mean-
necessary, off, so says
Well,
will be?
Well, I guess I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but indemnification is very important,
Of course.
and we can't have a mission statement to say we're gonna be indemnified if we're not. So until we're indemnified, and we should be, we can't put it in there that we're
Okay, do you
indemnified.
want to leave that after
Well, I
that
think-
paragraph? Do you want to leave that out?
I think it should be there, but I
It should,
mean,
I agree.
I think if there's gonna be discussion about that indemnification, I think we elaborate further.
I'm sorry, where is that?
So right here.
The last line of the first paragraph.
So he's saying, because we don't know if we are yet or not.
So what if we leave it as is, and in the next month, if we can figure out what, like, if we are indemnified or not, and if we're not, we'll take it out. If we are, we can leave it in there, or take steps to.
Well, and though I believe that, right, that I mean, the plan is to become indemnified
Mhm.
Correct.
one way or another, right? So I mean, either we are covered, or if we're not, we
We
will find
will
a way
get
to become
coverage,
covered, right?
yeah.
So we will be indemnified. I shouldn't say we, it's not me, but you will be indemnified.
You are.
I am,
so-
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I-
Yeah, is that, so.
Yeah, I mean,
let's leave,
I mean, at this point, okay, the rough draft, yeah.
okay,
but-
hopefully we'll have an answer by
But I
next
think
month.
there's gonna be discussion about that, or there should be about that, because
Yep.
I
on
can't
the
think of anything
agenda.
more important.
It is on the agenda. Okay, all right, so
All right, so you want to leave that until next month,
now.
hopefully?
until we vote, hopefully we will have a decision by then. Or as soon as I hear and it's negative, then we will start looking at what we need to do and how much it's going to cost to indemnify the group. But we will be, one way or the other. It's just a matter of how long and how much. Okay. All right. Anything else before we move on about the mission statement? Okay, and there's also the scholarship. It's in here too. Why am I such a mess here today? Okay.
So that's what you're gonna call you next meeting.
Hmm?
Is that all you need to do, so you're gonna call
Okay, yeah.
Like, I didn't know-
No, I was just
looked like
looking
you
for,
were- looked like
because
there
I
might
was
be
looking
something
for
else, and I'm
something
like-
that I know I had and I couldn't find it, but that's okay. So what I'd like to do is call the scholarship, we can do this directly after the meeting. I'd like everyone who's on the scholarship committee to stay and let's set up a second meeting.
The policy committee, right?
The scholarship policy committee, yes.
Yeah, I don't see that.
It's this.
That's not in their
It's not in
packet.
the.
Oh,
It's not in the- it's not
no,
in the-
okay,
not in
I'm
the
sorry,
packet,
guys.
that's
That's,
all right. That is not something in
okay.
the packet 'cause it doesn't apply there.
Perfect.
That's fine.
Okay, we're just gonna, so I don't wanna take time during the meeting, but if you guys don't mind staying just for a moment, let's see if we can pick a time that works for everybody and move forward on this, because a couple of things have come up since we did this that we can now address, so it's smooth moving forward.
Would that be, you're saying after our meeting?
After the meeting, if everyone can just, everyone on the,
Just the policy committee.
Right.
For the
Policy
scholarship.
committee. So the people who wrote the policy
Mhm.
are just gonna stick around for a few minutes afterwards.
to set up a new
to
meeting,
set up
that's
another
all.
meeting.
And then, of
To
course, we
fix-
will
to
bring,
fix the small things that are.
and then we'll bring
policy.
everything to the meeting next time, or send it out for you to read in advance of the next meeting. There'll be
There's
minor
just
changes, but
minor,
there's some.
minor tweaks to what's
Yeah.
currently there. And just,
Things-
but we need everybody together to do those minor tweaks.
Exactly. And they,
Bring it to the board.
Correct.
yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. I woke up with a migraine again, and took medication, and I'm like in this fog. Okay, so let's move on then to the treasurer's report, please.
Sure thing.
Hello.
The treasurer's report for this month, the beginning balance in our account was $721,805.48. There were $0 in deposits, $1,046.97 in income, $4,000 in withdrawals, $0 in expenses. The total change in value was up $7,248.46 for an ending value of $726,000 $100.91.
And that's gonna be sent to me, or?
It was sent to you mere moments ago, Ms.
Okay.
Julie.
Any comments on the treasurer's report? Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Julie. Second? Thank you, Noah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Who was the second?
Noah.
Noah.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, so now I'd like to ask for a friends.
Yep, that's right. Okay. Sorry.
It's
Okay.
D after C. Friends of the Library update from Noah, please. I'm not that bad.
So I had the last meeting with Noel. I know there's a note in there about the event they had for the Black History Month music event, which was
Yeah,
really well attended.
spirituals.
The
Yep.
spirituals, which was fantastic, and they're planning some other great events for the spring and summer. One thing that I thought was really impressive was that they've had seen some really strong membership numbers so far for this year. So they're going to be in a good position financially. Have some great events coming up. Preparing for the book fair, which will be in June. The book sale. Sorry,
Yeah.
Corey was talking about a book fair earlier.
I know, yeah, she did.
I will also note that Noelle and I have been pushing them to create some branded tote bags to sell as a fundraiser. So we continue to try to push that forward because I think it would be a great fundraiser, but also I think just sort of a fun piece of library branded merch that people would love to use.
They'll need them to carry all the books out that they buy
Exactly.
at the
Well,
book
that's what we were
sale.
saying. Go to the book sale.
Exactly.
With your new,
load it up with your books.
you got it.
So yeah, so I think it's really some really great events. I think there's one coming up. I think it's in April. The history of the chocolate one, which sounds really fascinating.
Yep.
So they have some great events coming up.
It's basically colonial chocolate
Yes.
making, and to sort of dovetail with the Rev 250
Yep.
anniversary.
Are they going to have samples?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they
All
are.
right. Everybody should be there then. All right.
But yeah, I think it's I don't know if there's anything you want to add, but I think it's it's a great group, and some newer members who are super engaged, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's and it says with their membership numbers, so they actually have already hit the number of members that they had for the whole year last year, so they're already there, and they know they'll always get more, especially when you get close to the book sale. There's always people who join just to get in early to the book sale. So so this is the first year since I've been there that they're actually seeing like a really good increase, or I mean it's not a big increase or anything like that, but that it's increasing at all, I think is a really positive thing. And they did do, and I've worked with them as well to try some different things this past year to encourage membership. So that was good, and their open house went pretty well, but we did discuss like when to have it, whether we should keep it do they want to keep it in January. They complained a little about the snow and the cold and parking, and so I'm pushing them to move it to March because I'm like, that's the dead month. There's nothing happening in March. It's too early for outdoor sports, and it's the weather's still like dodgy, but it's a good time to have some other things. So they're gonna look at that as well. But yeah, they have some good events. They do a really good job of start planning out events through the year, so they always have things already that they're looking at for the fall. They're going to be doing a Beatles presentation in the fall. I want to say that, I can't remember if that's October or November, so. But it's like a guy, I guess, who's super popular and it's hard to book. So they're going to be doing something with that this year too as well. So they're looking forward. But the book sale will be, so the first week of June is the collection week. So if you have any books that get squirreled away that you're like, oh, I'm ready to get rid of these books, hold on to them to donate. Everybody out there listening, hold on to them to donate. So that whole first week of June, you can drop off anytime the library's open your books. And they also take if you've got vinyl records, you've got CDs, DVDs, all of those things you can donate. And then the second week is when they have the sale, and it starts on the Tuesday night with a preview night, which is only for people who are members of the Friends. Can go in, and then the rest of the week, Wednesday through Saturday, are open hours for people to go. And It's not settled yet, but we're hopeful that it looks like the Pride party might be on the 13th, which would be the last day of the book sale as well.
Oh,
And so
nice.
that would be like awesome to have those dovetail together. But we don't know that for sure yet. But that's the proposed date that I've seen so far for the Pride party. So hopeful about that as well. And I don't think there's anything else. Nothing momentous, but to talk about. There are 20 passes, museum passes, at this point in time that they have. So that's a great, and they're still looking. I was actually at the MIT Museum. Have you taken your kids to the MIT Museum?
Not yet. We went to the Athenaeum in Boston.
I'm betting at least
Yeah.
a few of your kids would like the MIT Museum. But I've been there before.
As long as they don't break anything, it's fine.
Yeah, you can't break anything in there. But I did ask them at the desk if they had library passes, and they said no. So I was like,
Oh, yeah.
too bad. But yeah, still taking suggestions from people who, if you have some suggestions for museum passes as well. So.
Okay.
I have one question about the tote bag.
Yep.
Could you do sort of a oh my god, I had words before this, but
Like, I don't know which words you want. I can help you.
sort of a contest to see for
Oh,
designs.
design or
Yeah,
something.
and put that
that's
out to
an
like the
idea.
public or
Let me
to
write
the
that-
schools or to
Yeah.
you know
Let me
something
write that
where there's
down. That's
something.
I like that idea. Right,
Yeah.
hold on.
Involves the
Tote
community more.
design contest.
You could also do, I saw a child at the book fair at school today who had a tote bag that said, I think, this is Henry's library bag, library book bag. So there are, like, you could use Printify or one of, like, the shops where you set up, like, a base design and they
Right,
can
then-
customize it and a portion goes back to your organization. So I'm happy that my husband does some of that. I can chat with the friends
Yeah.
about it.
So they say like anything, it's something like this because it's a new idea for them.
Yeah.
Like, we really want to make it as simple as possible. Like
Yeah.
when we first start doing it, we don't have to say that that's not simple because I know it is. Like,
I
the
mean, it
on-demand
is one
stuff
more
good.
step. You'd need a QR code or something.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm happy
uh,
to chat with the friends about it. I can send you a
but
link.
yeah, I mean, I think if anybody has experience with it or like wants to help out with it at all, like it does do them good to hear from somebody
Yeah.
who's done it before,
Yeah.
so that they have like a better base of understanding for it. Because a lot of it's just like, we don't know how to do this, and so I mean, I was planning to. I had like last year had brought them. Like a sample example of like here's what it could look like with like the logo on it. So I figured I'd do like another mock-up for them again to see, and then anything else is good. But I like that. I like the contest idea. Great idea.
Even if it's like even if it's like high school or or middle school, high school, like where I mean anybody, but like to have it be like black and white so that it can be printed easily, something like that. Anyways.
Yeah, love it.
Okay,
I
so
remember Noah.
we done, Noah?
I was done, yes.
Okay, all right. So let's move on to the director's report.
All right, so I have a couple new things to say, but like let me take any questions about my report that you've read, and then I'll tell you the new things, because new things always appear. Anybody got anything?
I was just going to say, I noticed that the reference to Shilpa Jacoby's leaving, so I just wanted to, I know you wrote it in here, but just publicly recognize her, long service with the library. She was fantastic every time I interacted with her. Also, as a new trustee, I found her to be a really good advocate for libraries in general. And the
Very
service
much so, yes.
that service they provide in town, so I just wanted to make sure that was publicly stated on the record.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have anything?
I would like to add to that. I'm not sure who received communication from Shilpa around her exit. I have received some, and it reminded me of a letter that was written to the board. I don't remember if it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago when another librarian departed.
Right now.
Well, it was like there was no exit interview or anything like that.
Oh, right,
right. And we had questions questions about like an exit interview and anything
Right,
that
yes.
could have.
Because
I remember that.
Because I did talk to, because they did offer that person an exit interview when I asked HR about it, but they declined it.
But
In any case,
Yeah.
Shilpa has gone on the record at the Human Rights and Inclusion Committee meeting, as we've all discussed in this meeting before, with her experiences as an employee of the library. I'm concluding my 3rd year on this board, and so now I've had 2 experiences with library employees making public and coming to me personally with disturbing allegations of feeling harassed and discriminated against during their employ at the library. I know that the board has no place in personnel issues, and I know that there's the specifics of these cases need to be handled between you and the town and the employee, and I totally respect that. I have said many times from this seat that I think that we need to continue to look at the culture of the library for our employees. I have been disappointed by a lot of the things that I've heard, that employees, especially our only employee of color, departing in distress. And the last employee who departed was also a minority, also a visible minority, and I think that we should, I know there's an MOU, I know there's a memorandum coming to talk about what our clear roles are in all of this, but I would like to encourage this board not to shy away from hard conversations around culture, around what we can do to be a more supportive and welcoming place, a non-toxic place, a encouraging place for employees, especially employees who are visible minorities of this community, to feel that this is a place where they want to work and where they want to stay. I think the board can have influence in that area. For example, the scholarship. We do that because we want to support our library, and employee retention is an important part. Our community cares about having a face that they recognize when they are talking to people at the desk. So it is not entirely outside the board's purview to have a conversation about the culture situation. And I feel at this time we can say we do have a bit of a culture problem, and I am concerned about what happens when this sort of thing gets, and I would like to push a lot of, or not push, but I would like to also note that I personally hold the town management responsible for a lot of the difficulty that Shilpa has had, and others have had, because I think there's been a lot of like pass the buck going on. And we all saw, and I said this 2 months ago, we all saw what happened with the schools when there was allegations of harassment and misconduct going on, and people played past the responsibility. And before we knew it, the Boston Globe Spotlight team was here in Danvers writing an article about how nobody did anything about this problem. So I think we, I know you have trainings coming up. I'm planning to attend the microaggressions training, and
Email me so I give you the link.
I will do that. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but at this point, we don't deal with the personnel issues. I'm waiting for the memo to come out from town management about what our role is. I'm not saying we have absolutely no say, but let's wait until we see what we can do when that comes out, because that is a letter, legally, they're looking at everything, all the laws, what's in our contract and our.
I feel confident that we can observe a pattern and at least put it out on the table that we are observing a pattern and that I, as a board member, would like to see continued progress in the area of inclusion for our cultural inclusion and healthy workspace for our employees. And I'm happy to end there.
And I will just encourage, if any board member has concerns, to please come talk to me, because there's, as well, I mean, obviously if you're talking to employees, that's fine as well, but just do also come and talk to me, because, you know, there are always multiple angles on everything that gets told. All stories that get told have different angles to them, so it helps to have the full picture of
Exactly.
what is happening.
And nothing that has been made public so far has included the whole picture. So that's my only comment about that.
I did just have one question with regard to the MOU. Is there a point at which the town manager or someone from the town would come before this board? Because I think it would be worth having, or maybe having a conversation on what that MOU is. I mean, I know you've been working on it, but I'm just wondering, will the board have a chance to have input in that along with the town?
Should we go into executive session to talk more about this, or is this something
So we
that
can't just pop into
No.
executive session.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking because I feel like we're
Yeah, so we're kind
Getting
of
into gray areas
we're
here.
getting
Ma-
into some gray areas.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, if I might, in the 100 years I've been on this board, we've had library directors that continue, and they run the library. They are in charge of the library. They're in charge of personnel, the budget, and other items. In the many years that I've been here, we've never dealt, only one time that I remember, about personnel issues. We're getting very close, in my opinion, to violating the law here. Speaking about specific employees before this board is a very dangerous situation. Duty as a library trustee in the many years I've been on this board is that not to undermine the leadership of the library. If somebody has a complaint about the library director in all the years I've been on this board, my first question would be, have you talked to the assistant director? Or have you talked to your supervisor? Yes or no? Okay, if you spoke to your supervisor, what happened? Have you talked to the assistant director? Yes or no? Have you talked to the director? Yes or no? That's important to take those steps. And it's important as trustees, and I understand that. We've had that before where trustees become book club members, or they go into the library and then they're immediate target. We're immediate targets when you go in there, and if we forget our responsibility about being a trustee and become friends, that's when dangerous issues arise, such as now. We cannot talk about a certain employee that has left this library. We can't attack the library director sitting here at this meeting about the way things have been handled. The library director runs this board, runs the library. He or she answers to the board. If there's such a need about culture, toxicity, bias, I've never seen this in all the years I've been on this board, inclusion, etc. If there's a real issue about a certain employee, there needs to be a call for an executive session at some point where we can go in there and discuss that individual. But again, we cannot sit here and talk about a specific employee and undermine the director. The directors, none of us are perfect, but to sit here and criticize the director in public is not the right place.
Okay, so and again,
Madam Chair, I would just like to clarify that I was discussing a pattern that I have observed as
Okay.
I have been on this board, and the specific employee in question went in front of the town of Danvers in a publicly televised meeting to talk about the library. We
All right, Corey,
cannot
I need to end this,
ignore
please. We need
that.
to stop this conversation at this point. There's a lot of reasons why, but we need to end this conversation. Okay, so,
So that was, just.
we're back
I
on
don't,
you.
I don't remember where we are
The director's
anymore.
report.
Besides what we just talked about, is there anything else that anybody wanted to bring up before I bring up the new things? Hearing nothing. So there's just a couple of things in your packet that I put, or not in the packet, in the folder, sorry. Where I'm putting, so I did, the town is having an open meeting law and how to hold a municipal hearing training on Thursday, April 2nd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So it is strongly encouraged for board and committee members to attend if you want to. So I did include the flyer in there if you wanted to attend that or sign up for that. That is in there as well. I did also include it all starts at the library, is what that says, and it's a double-sided sheet from the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners. And so this is talking, this is part of the legislative agenda that the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners is supporting for the state and the state libraries. So you can see on one side it has like kind of the numbers that they're asking for and looking at, and they always prioritize, something particularly. So this does explain about that. So I do just ask people to take a look at that, see what is happening, what is particularly being supported, and if you feel so inclined to talk to your legislators, local legislators, about supporting the library agenda. I know that the ones that we do have here locally are also already great library supporters, but it's always important to have some advocacy as well. And then, what else did I want to talk about? Yes, legislative agenda. I did want to thank, Dr. Charles Desmond and Julie Curtis and Noah Levitt all came to the budget review at the select board on Saturday. So I just wanted to thank you for coming and for your support. It was great to have you there. I don't know if anybody's watched it on TV or anything like that. We went after the schools. The schools always take a lot of time because there's a lot to talk about.
They need to have the library go first. In fairness. just my opinion.
Yeah, they let me go first before a couple of years, and then it's swapped out, and that's okay. The superintendent always very kindly apologizes to me for keeping us there, waiting through there. But I actually like hearing what's going on at the schools as well. But anyway, the budget did pass with a favorable review from the board, so that is also always good news. There will be, there were a couple questions about this, but there will be in the ensuing years probably some looking at, places where there can be cuts and such like that. That's just where the budget picture, the whole overall budget picture is going at this point in time. So that will be stuff for us to discuss in the future for future budget years. But for now, all is rosy.
So I just have a quick question, just because it's in the report about.
Sure.
And folks, I would encourage, if they haven't watched the presentation, to watch it, because you sort of talk through the budget and the level of service. I didn't, just because I know, because you noted that there was a $5,000 cut in the general supplies budget. Is there specifics on what those cuts are related to, or is
the supplies?
The
budget?
supplies, yeah.
So our supply budget covers like pretty much everything. So everything from buying, like paper and pencils and pens, to like very library specific, like processing material supplies, things like that as well. If we need, more anything like masks or and like hand sanitizer, things like that as well. Wipes. All of that's in like our supply budget as well. So it covers a very wide swath of possible things. But I think we'll be okay. And what I did include in your packet, and this was part of the budget presentation, was the library by the numbers, which you'd seen a portion of this before actually, but I did present this at the budget meeting. So it's an infographic, and a couple of the things that I did specifically mention at the budget presentation was just that, like the 364,379 items that circulated in FY25. If we very conservatively say that each item is worth $15, like some things, like a magazine's worth like $3, but a lot of items are worth like $50. I mean, that's $5.5 million that we're talking about that we're saving people. I actually had not noticed before, but how much our study rooms are used, like almost 1,700 uses of the study rooms is a lot. That's in a year, that's fantastic. And I'd also attached some numbers to the museum passes, which like with almost 1,200 uses of the museum passes, which the Friends fully fund, that's saving people minimally, and that's just assuming like 2 people use any given pass, and your passes are usually a 50% discount, and if you're saying that's at least $10 a head, it's like $25,000 at least that people have saved on being able and making cultural institutions more affordable for our families and patrons. So that's just something to see. But one of the other realities is like the 3,226 hours were open to the public. Last year, like we were open more hours than any of the other public-facing entities in town. And so, when we get to the point where, if we're talking about cuts to our budget, like we don't have padding in our budget. Like our budget's pretty, it is
lean.
It's pretty lean. It is just pretty straight up lean. And of course, mostly salaries. So cutting anything in our budget will really end up probably looking at, cutting hours in some way to be able to make up that money. But we're not there yet. But that's just where we're probably looking at in the future. So that's just the reality of, because we don't really have other places to cut money from. So, but that's what was happening throughout. If you watched any of the other budget presentation or heard anything else, like that's what a lot of the other departments are doing. They're looking at consolidating or leaving open. Like we wouldn't cut positions, but we would perhaps not fund positions, depending. So, and that's what some other departments were doing for the budget year we're going into. So that just might be a reality as we go forward. But we'll see. We're not there yet. It's just hypothetical at this point in time. But I did want to just draw a little attention to that as well. And the only other thing that kind of happened this week is we did unfortunately have a patron. Well, unclear. Get dizzy and fall down in the children's room, and we did have to call the ambulance to come and care for that person. But because my staff knows what to do in these situations, they took care of her and made sure she was taken care of, and she was with a young child, but made sure to contact her. She was a grandparent. Make sure the others, her family, were contacted to keep everything good. So that is just a occasional instance like that happen. But I think that was all. I think that was all I had for extra stuff.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look back while we're talking, but Ken, when you did the strategic plan, was there any discussion in like the questions about library hours or what they're looking for or anything like that I do have it printed so I can look too, but I'm just thinking
that doesn't ring a bell.
In the survey,
yeah, just
maybe?
For backup of okay, this money is used for this and the public is saying this is what they want. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't recall any
I can't even remember
any language about
terrible?
that, but I think overall it was very positive about the responses to the survey. Very positive about the library. And its
Well, I didn't know if there's
openness.
any survey that you can start gathering information about how the library is used, what people want in the library for current statistics for you for budget meetings.
Well, well, actually, that is something I was talking or thinking about for later in the summer, I think, is putting together a bit of a survey anyway, because if we, because I did say, like, I did meet with, these architects just to talk about, how do you, like, start moving forward with the building renovation? And, they're like, it's gonna take you 7 to 10 years. I'm like, great, but one of the things that they said to start doing was to track, issues you have with your building, like, so, just keeping track of, like, whenever you have your leaks and, whatever, so you have, like, you're building a picture of what issues you have. And then, then you also want to build in your stakeholders. So they were saying, like, do some surveying with, what are people looking for from the library? What do they like? What do they wish we had? That kind of thing. So I'm planning, I figured, like, this late summer, maybe early fall, to, like, have a survey to, like, kind of talk about, like, what, I mean, you'll always have people say, like, I wish the library was open 24 hours,
Right.
But, or, people who want programming for when their kid isn't napping, but everyone else's kid is napping, or, whatever. But, that always happens. But, there's plenty of things that, we don't do that other libraries do, and, and vice versa, right, too. So it'll be interesting to see what people are looking for that we are and aren't doing, like, what they're happy about and not. Because we did do, like, I'm trying to remember what the survey said exactly. We did, like, the survey that we did initially for the strategic plan did have some of those things in it, but I don't remember about the hours, if we put the hours in there or not. I can't remember. I still have a copy of the old survey, so I'll have to look at it again, but.
Yeah, just, I mean, it
Yeah.
also just for, when you go against and they say you want these cuts and, like, the public wants this information, and where
Right,
can
yeah,
you
yeah.
actually make the cuts and make the public still happy? Because obviously it's a public building.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
so.
Yeah. It's a balancing act. Is the easy way to put it, I guess, for sure. Yeah. So I think that was all the extra I had. I think. All I wrote down anyway. So we're done.
You're
with
done.
me.
Okay. Any other questions for Noelle before we move on? Okay. So, old business, I wanted to bring you all up to date on what's going on with the indemnification. We tasked Noelle with trying to find out whether or not we can be or are indemnified, and we have not been able to get an answer
Yet.
yet. So, I took it upon myself as chair of this board to write our attorney, the town's attorney, who represents us legally, directly to ask whether or not we are indemnified. So I'm waiting for a response. I'm hoping by the next meeting, I'm going to find out that we are, because we are considered, I don't even know if I should bring this up, special municipal employees. So as such, I think we should be indemnified with the town's insurance policies, but I need a definitive legal answer on that. It can't be my opinion. Should be. No. They call us employees. But anyways, so I'm waiting for that. By the next meeting, if we haven't heard anything in the affirmative for us, I will have some quotes on what it might cost to indemnify us privately. But I'm hoping we don't have to do that. So I just wanted to bring everyone up to date with where that stands, because that is extremely important. And I'm hoping we're going to hear pretty quickly at this point.
And I will just add that I did reach out to some other libraries who have similar who have boards who have, like, trusts or other such kind of funding that they handle. And so far, the ones I've heard from, they got answers from their towns or councils that they are considered to be indemnified by the town, covered by the town. So we'll see. We're still pursuing it to make sure we get a definite answer.
Just sometimes wheels move slowly.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Madam Chair, when I brought it up originally, because it came to light at the retirement board, it took a month or so, and they finally found that back in 1979, I believe, that the town accepted a certain chapter and section for retirement boards.
Right.
I've been looking at the Mass General Law, and it talks about public bodies or something, public, elected. I would hope that I don't think we can just get insurance. I think we need to have it accepted by Mass General Law.
Okay.
The town, somebody has to accept it under the Mass General law, and that's where we have to go.
And we'll have those answers, I'm hoping, by next month, one way or the other, where we need to go from here. Okay, so back to this again. All right, so going into new business. Again, I need to meet with the Finance Committee because we need to have another meeting about a couple of things, but one of the biggest things is a discussion on our accountant. He's done a good job as far as the numbers go, but he's very expensive. He doesn't work in town, which can be a little bit of a drawback when you need a quick answer or you need to drop something off. Sometimes you just need to do those things in hand. Anyways, so I'd like to meet with everybody afterwards again, just to set up a meeting so we can move forward with this. Talking about possibly getting a new, closer to Danvers accountant. I'm sure there are several good ones in town. So I want to talk to you about that. And then next on the agenda, I want to talk about the Code of Conduct and Social Media Policy. I don't want to spend a great deal of time on this, but the town has a social media policy, and that was adopted and revised. It was adopted in 2018, revised in 2024, about the use of social media. I know we've got freedom of speech here in America. It's a great right to have. But when you sit on a board like this, as well as some other boards, we kind of have to be held almost to a higher standard. And we did agree to adopt the Code of Conduct for the Board of Library Trustees. That was back in 2024. And that specifically does talk about it covers some issues that broadly cover social media as well. So I just wanted to remind us all, if you don't have the social media policy and the Code of Conduct, is that me?
Now, 'cause it's all in your folder.
Yes, all in the folder. Let me know if you need it. Oh, okay. I thought it was my microphone. Never mind. All right. So I just wanted to cover that because we do need to make sure we're complying with the Code of Conduct specifically.
So you're asking for the trustees to review it?
Please make sure you review it, know what's on it. One of the things, number 7, is abide by all policies established by the town of Danvers and/or select board. There's also something like refrain from asserting personal opinions on town business. Refrain from public criticism, including on social media, any employee or the town of Danvers. There's just a couple of things in here. Since we decided to adopt this, we should know what's on it and comply with it. So that's all I want to bring up at this point. You also, I didn't get this,
It's in the packet.
I don't have that.
What, the
I
That's
know
the
it's,
last page of the packet.
the past
Yeah.
year thing? It's like they're on the back, like, so everything's two-sided,
Oh.
so. It might be
No.
in the back of the-
that's not on this.
It's on one of them.
That's mine.
Oh, it's in the packet. No, it should be in your packet. So, but anyway, yeah, you can have, if you're looking for that.
Yes, okay.
have that.
So everyone should have a copy of the past chair position, and we had talked about this before. One of the biggest things I wanted to do with this board was make sure that there was some continuity to it. I know when I first came on, I was given nothing except that little flyer that's put out by Mass State. We now have notebooks. We've got bylaws that everyone has copies of. Everyone's pretty clear. There's also copies of job descriptions for each of the positions in here. One of the things I wanted to add, and again, several of the committees I've served on in my lifetime have had past president positions. And I took the lazy way out and I consulted AI to ask me to help with some of this for what duties might be. I don't care if we have some of these. I don't care if we have all of these. I just thought it might be a nice thing to have just so there's continuity. So, of course, whoever becomes the next chair has the right to ask anybody to help out or assign them to different committees. But I thought it would be nice if there was a past chair position just to help with some of that continuity. Some of the things that I'm working on now, to be able to stay on and finish in that capacity, although I'm really hoping most of the things I'm working on will be done. So I just wanted to pass this out. Nothing's set in stone. I'm not even saying we have to adopt a past chair position, but I wanted to just put this out there and see what everybody's thoughts were. We are not going to make a definitive decision tonight, but I wanted to see what anyone had to say, or if there's things on here they don't like, things they want to change, things they want to add, don't want to do it. I'm just wanting to hear from you all.
Okay. Can I speak?
You may.
Yeah, I had a conversation with the chairperson.
Pull the mic really close to you. Julie.
Yeah, I had a conversation with the,
I think your mic's dead, Julie.
Is it?
it's dead?
Just
Speak
talk
into
the
it and
mic.
see.
Just-
Yeah, I had a conversation with the chairperson regarding this, and I have several concerns. One is I really don't think it's necessary, but the thing that concerns me very much is under the duties. Encourages new leadership? What exactly is that? May serve as a signing officer on the board bank account. Mainly those things. We in fact, we have a treasurer. We have a chair and a treasurer. I don't understand why we would need someone to serve as a signing officer on board bank account when we already have a treasurer as well as a chairperson. And again, as I say, I have absolutely no idea what encourages new. I'm sorry. What encourages new leadership? No, that isn't.
I'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, those are my main. Those are my main two, concerns. And as I say, I just, we've never had this. And in fact, after we spoke, I Googled where you got this from. I Googled, and it refers to these are things that a professional organization does.
We're not a professional organization.
I know we're not. So, what, and I know it's what you were referring to because most of the things that you wrote is what is in this thing. And it outright states that it's used by professional organizations. We're not a professional organization. We're a 9-person board.
So, Julie, I don't know if I can explain a little bit about it, but when somebody leaves, like, say, Natalie wasn't here after and Donna picked up on what was there was a lot of responsibility that wasn't clear that that's something that Donna had to do. And for her had questions or whatever, to go back to somebody who is aware of that is important.
No, and I agree with that. What I don't agree with.
I think it's also like not so. It could also be taken advantage of, whereas they're defaulting back. It's defaulting back to the old position. So having encouraged new leadership is saying, I'm not the leader. I'm just going to help you, but you're still the leader. So like encouraging them to take the lead on everything and have that existing chair sort of step back. So it's not like they're relinquishing control in an organized way.
And also assisting with new people who may be on the board.
Right. And the bank account, like you're on the bank account
already.
because you're already on there.
That's
So
what I'm
like just to
saying.
have it, like to go to it sort of, it doesn't hurt anything to be on it as a signer. And
But why would
if there's anything that
I disagree.
Okay, there's also, let me just add this and then I'll let you speak. There's also the case that I don't think we've ever changed the signatures on the library card, the bank card. I'm telling you, this has been a bad day today. It takes several weeks to several months to get that done at the library, just getting everybody together, getting all the required signatures, getting all the information that the bank needs on who is going to be who's going to be our new treasurer, whatever. It just, again, provides the continuity, leaving me on it until those changes are all done. You might,
And my concern
if you
is,
want to add on, take it off when that's done, that's fine.
okay, my concern is we're talking, this is a 1-year term. I don't have a problem with 2 or 3 months.
It just says May,
Because
sir.
because I agree with you that it does take, 2 to 3 months to do a bank account and everything. I don't agree that it should take a whole year. And that mainly is my concern, the fact that, as I say, it says that it's a 1-year term. And again,
So I think if
oh,
we,
okay,
Yeah,
can I finish,
sorry.
please?
well, I was just saying that we can
Can
take
I
this
finish,
home.
please?
Yes. Go ahead.
Again, I don't know, it encourages new leadership. I have a problem with that.
So why don't we do what Donna says?
Okay,
Take this home
how about
and
Donna?
rewrite it.
How about Donna? We're talking to Donna as the chair. How about we let Donna respond?
Okay.
And I think I did. Part of it is, Say No is our next chair. I'm just throwing names out. He's the next. Okay. Anybody, someone who's just newly elected, we choose this chair. It's just helping out with that transition period until they're comfortable in the role, helping them with what's going to be expected of them as a chair. It's actually more than just that, and it's also helping with new people who come on to the board. There hopefully will be new people. We're going to have some open positions. And just making sure that there's some continuity, that there's someone there that can help answer questions in addition to the new chair. It's just about making the transition smoother. It's not about any kind of crazy power.
No,
It's just
nobody is insinuating it's crazy power. I just had a couple concerns.
Well, that's all it is helping the new person who's in that role, because I've been doing it now for a while, so I kind of know the ins and outs. I know the personalities. I know the people at the town. It's just helping them succeed in that role and helping anybody new on the board, help answering questions, just be there. And everybody can do this as well, kind of as a mentor for the new people.
Okay, again, my concern is that we're talking a whole year. That's
Okay.
really my main concern.
And I hear you. I don't know if anyone else has a problem with that.
Can I just interject for a minute? So I am currently serving as the past president of the Mass Library Association. We did this exact. I did not tell Donna to do this, but we did this exact same thing several years ago to add that past president
But see,
position.
we're
and
not an
just to-
association.
Well,
that's my-
but the work is the same. So I was even today in a meeting, where we have the same thing we do with fiscal year. That was a meeting that my experience was vital for that meeting to be able, because they do a process of vice president, president, past president, but like that I had perspective that some of the other people did not have, and was able to have some historical context to give. My duties are small at this end of the spectrum of this, but it was still important that I was there to be able to do some of the work and be able to say some of the things. So I think this is very vital that you're having this discussion. And as I say, this is just a draft. If people are like, I don't encourage new leadership, just take it out. That's fine. I think I agree. When Donna gave this to me, I said to her, I think some of this, you guys need to have a discussion about this and flesh out what this means or doesn't mean. So I think this is just open to discussion, what
It
everything
absolutely.
is.
Yeah, nothing's set in stone. We're not even voting on it today. But does anyone else have any comments?
I think it makes sense. I think from a two perspective, one, just sharing that institutional knowledge and leveraging that for whoever a new chair might be. So I think it makes sense as well. And I think redundancy is always good regarding the signing. You don't know what happens. I think having redundancy is good. As for the 1-year term, I think my view is that aligns with the calendar of the board. I think having something less than 1 year could create some awkwardness, whereas if it's just 1 year and yeah, maybe they're only really needed for 2 months, but things come up. I mean, obviously we can tweak the duties. Maybe I would say maybe, if we want to add some specificity here or there. I mean, but to me, this role is really, I think you alluded to, Noelle, is just sort of that expertise is there if needed. It's a little more formalized, because I think one thing that can be hard is if you're no longer in a leadership role, you don't want to necessarily step on someone's toes. You might feel hesitant to speak up or share something so not to step on someone's toes. Whereas in this role, you at least have some sort of formalized arrangement that you're expected to do that. So I think that could just alleviate some of that potential awkwardness. But, I think we should, as everyone said, look at the duties, maybe bring some changes for the next meeting before we vote on it.
And honestly, like I said before, I was being a little lazy. I used AI. So like things like serves on the financial committee. I don't know that that's necessary. I'm on it now, but there's several people on it now and I hope some of them will continue to be on it in the next cycle. I can take some of these out. We can add to them. I don't care. I just wanted to throw it out because I think we've gone so far in creating a more formalized board and what the positions are, and everyone knows what's going on now and what their responsibilities are in said positions. So I just wanted to have something. And again, if I end up stepping back after 3 months because everyone's got it, great. but just I am there in case anyone has a question about what's gone on in the past.
Right, and I think your language in here, it says may serve an additional 1 year. It's not you have to serve for 1 year. It's may serve. So it's kind of covered that it could be 3 months, could be 2 months, could be 1 month, it could be nothing.
Yeah, as long as you guys
Right.
need me if you need me.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm just sitting there.
It says may serve an additional 1 year term. It says this is a 1 year term for the person who served as chair for the previous year. Is this something that would be an elected position? Like
No.
it would be automatic that you would serve after stepping down as chair, you would serve 1 year as
Anyone
past
who's chair.
chair.
Mm-hmm. And in the event that I didn't, that's what this line means. In the event that if I was up for re-election this year and I didn't make it, or wasn't voted in by the townspeople in Danvers, then it would be the person who preceded me would take on that role again to help provide that continuity.
They're not here.
But I'm here luckily, so I'm assuming because we stagger the times that we're voted on the board, I'm hoping that will never happen, that nobody's here to help out. So you can serve up to 1 year. I don't care. That's why I wanted to give this out. So if anyone...
Sitting here as a senior member of the board in the 25 plus years I've been here, this sounds like a Kiwanis thing to me. Past, present, that stuff there. So if we're gonna actually talk about establishing an assistant chair position, you got to go with the bylaws, right? We just can't do this. It has to be the bylaws. So now you have to establish a bylaw committee that we did before, and that had its moments, but we just can't do this. We have to establish a bylaw committee. They have to meet, and then they have to bring it to the board, drafts and stuff like that. But looking at it myself, going down without trying to take people's time, prepares to exit the board, ensuring the smooth transition positions. The many years I've been here, the board survived. Nobody didn't get along in the sandbox all the time, but everything went along. Scheduled board meetings, you're supposed to be here anyway. If you're a trustee, you're supposed to be here. Support and assistance to the chair. I guess that a phone call, a cup of coffee might do the same. Board members as needed, advise board members, maybe somebody new, take them under your wing, but encourages new leadership. that puzzles me. What is new leadership?
We've talked about that now twice. It's twofold. It's helping the new chair in that position as leader of the
Signing
group.
officer, that takes 3 days getting the bank together. Financial committee, long-term goals, that's your job as a trustee. Unfinished business, that's your role to do that, but I certainly, we just can't do it. You have to go to the bylaws, you have to establish a committee, you have to have meetings, you have to present it, and it's a process. We just can't do that.
Well, that brings me up to something else too. One of the other, I'm getting ahead of myself now because that's going to come under. Where's my?
I don't know what you're doing right now.
No, I know. I'd lost my agenda.
And I would recommend that, it's probably impossible at this point to have a full board when you're talking about changing bylaws, or appointing bylaw committee or something like that.
Oh, okay. I was actually going to add another thing on here under new business that's not on here yet. If you all don't want to do this, just tell me and we'll be done with it.
Nobody, don't take it personal. I mean,
I'm not taking it personally.
But, maybe your time is coming to the end, like all of us. Some were glad to see somebody go, some weren't. But
Well, I think that's not what she's saying. I think what if we
you have to it has to be done with the bylaws. We just can't
so
do
what
that.
what if we change? What if we decide to have a subcommittee for the bylaws to update the chairperson's position to include be available for up to a year after with responsibilities?
We have updated the bylaws.
I
And
have to agree that most of the duties that are outlined is what I would consider to be common courtesy from an outgoing chair to the board if they're remaining on as a board member. If in anybody, I think we spend a lot of time on this board litigating what we are and aren't allowed to do, and vastly more time on that than we do actually performing our duties to serve the library. And I don't see anything novel in this list of duties that I wouldn't expect an outgoing chair. I agree sometimes redundancy is
I
helpful.
can tell you in the past, and I don't mean to cut you off, this has not happened since I've been on the board. So it would be nice to have something to make sure that it continues.
So would that then mandate that anybody who's vacating the seat of chair mandate that they stay on and that they,
What do you mean by mandate that they stay on?
mandate that they take this position? That they,
Yes. If you want to run for chair, know that that's going to be expected of you when your term is over. I think we're spending a lot of time on it now that I don't think needs to be spent. And again, if you want to take some of these things out, I don't care if it's more simplistic. I just think it should be in there that that's what the expectations are of this board.
I think, Madam Chair, that, no matter how much time we spend, you have to follow the law.
Yes, Mike.
Very simple. If there's any questions, I have a copy of the open meeting law. It spells everything out right here. But we have bylaws.
Yes, we do.
We just can't put them
If
aside.
we decide we want to change it, then we'll do what we need to do to get it changed. And again, I said, I'm just throwing this out there, food for thought. If nobody wants it, let's not do it. If people want it, I just think it helps with the continuity. I've been on this board long enough to see when that hasn't happened. I don't know why. It would be nice. I plan on doing it, but I've seen it not happen. And it would be nice if it was just put in there that that's what the expectation is.
Do any other boards or committees in Danvers have a similar position?
I don't know. I didn't look at that.
We might just something interesting to consider. Just
I can look.
before
I
the
can look
next
into it.
meeting, yeah.
But it's it's up to us to decide what we want to do. And again, so why don't we table this until the next meeting? If you just want it, and just say yay or nay if you want it next meeting, and then we can take it to the next level.
Well,
But it'll give everyone.
again, Madam Chair, I sound like a broken record. Even if we want it, we have to change the bylaws. You just can't say,
I got
okay,
that, Mike.
and
We're
then we're gonna
not
do
there
it.
yet. We may not even want to do it, so we don't need to discuss the bylaws yet or how we're going to change the bylaws if no one wants it. If people want it, then we look at the next step. I think we're putting the cart before the horse. I think we're spending too much time on this now, so why don't we table it till next meeting, finish that up. And I have something, so I'm going to bring this up first. Yeah, I'm going to add 8.5 in there, or C.5. The next thing is going to take a little bit of time, so I want to add this on. We're going to add something new to the agenda. If you can see, we've added under public comments already. We've added 3 minutes per person, 15-minute total for all comments. That should never be an issue. We don't usually get that many people at our meetings. And we're also going to add action items, things that we need to have done for the next meeting. So you'll be getting this when you get it. It'll be a reminder if you haven't done the things that you had offered to do or agreed to do at the previous meeting is a reminder. So one of the things that I'd like to do for an action item for this meeting is I would like you all to look at the bylaws and look at the positions that you hold. It's on the second page of the bylaws, page 2. And just look and see if what's in there is accurate to what you're doing, or if you think something needs to be added. Maybe they're fine. I just wanted you, each of the people in those positions, to look at those positions and see if they're correct. So that's my action item. All right, and now there's something exciting, so I'm going to turn it back over to Noelle to talk about 8D.
Yes, so in your packets was the one that is titled Marsh Pope Donation to the Archival Center. So hopefully, I'm not going to read through this myself because it's long, but just the basics for the people watching at home is that the descendants of Jasper Marsh, and also the Pope family as well, have met with our archivist, Richard Trask, and so they have a quite large collection of family papers, all sorts of different documents, photographs, some artifacts, books, etc., that they are looking, because the family isn't here in Danvers anymore, they are kind of scattered. This is a group of cousins. I have spoken with one of the main family member who's kind of driving this, about this as well. And so they have all sorts of a really wonderful family collection that is Danvers based, that would be quite amazing for the archival center to obtain. They're looking at making a gift of this collection to the archival center. They have had on their own somebody who's been working with archives and libraries materials to look at least a lot of the collection to kind of see what it is. And so there are highlights that you can read yourself that they included in this. They did write this, but I did not write this. So I did request that they get this collection appraised, which they are looking to do this summer or early fall. And so then we'll know, and I have talked to the town a little bit about it as well. So this is something that we're still months out of anything happening with it, but this is something that I would want to have the trustees obviously accept, because it is probably a quite valuable, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth collection. So I do want to make sure the trustees vote to accept this collection. I've also talked to the town about it a little bit, because we feel like anything that is this level of value looking to get donated should probably also be noted by the select board as well. So So we're basically, this is just the first round of information that you're getting. I'm also just talking to them about any stipulations or requirements they may have for us accepting this donation. So that's just kind of like where it's at this time. They do, you can see the very last line of this, they do refer, and I've talked to them a little bit about this, of being prepared to potentially give some money for the library to hire somebody, like maybe potentially part-time or who knows what, to just work with this collection, because it is quite an extensive collection, to work just with this collection for whatever that, it's a kind of a temporary, it would be a temporary position, just to get it cataloged and digitized and onboarded and presented. So I've just, so to say, like, we're just kind of at the beginning levels of this, but I just wanted you to all be aware of it. I have talked to Richard, obviously knows all about it, but I have, talked with Richard about that, and as well about, how having, an assistant come in to work with it, he seemed quite positive about that as well. So it's just kind of informational at this point, and I will provide more information as I know it. And I am in touch with David Marsh, who brought this forward. And so we're kind of like, I think we just had a touch base about the appraisal the other day. So if anybody has any questions, I mean, I probably, and he is willing to, if we want him to, like David Marsh, lives in Arizona, but has a home in Amherst as well, so he's here usually a few times a year. So he said he would be willing, we can do it, we can set it up, I know with DCAT via Zoom or whatever, if we want him to come to a meeting to talk about this collection at all, he is willing to do that as well, if we want to in the future, but just putting it out there. Does anybody have any questions about it for now or anything?
Will the collection require us to add on to the archives downstairs?
Well, so Richard and I think I mentioned this last meeting, so Richard and I have talked about, and we haven't actually gone any further with it yet, but, putting something, because there is quite a few pieces to this collection, there's a lot of materials to this collection, and they even say it occupies 10 linear feet, which is not nothing. So we know the archives is quite crammed with goodies. So he does believe that he has quite a few items that are he would consider sort of like dead storage that feels like we can put into a different storage facility. So we'll be moving forward with that. Assuming we move forward with this donation, which it does sound quite amazing, and having talked to him a bit. It would be really feather, and I think Richard said it would be like one of the largest family collections like anywhere. So it would be really a feather in our cap to have this collection. But there will definitely be some movement of items in the archives into other storage or whatever to be able to make room and to properly display things in this collection as well. So. Anybody else have anything else about it? I will come forward with more information as I have it, as it moves along the pike. So, yeah. That's all.
Thank you. Okay. There's no other questions for Noel. I move to, I don't move. Okay, I move to adjourn the meeting.
No,
No.
I want to bring.
Oh, okay.
I ran into, I met somebody, actually a couple who are deaf, and when they heard that I was a library trustee, because I said that, they were talking about the library, so when I brought up that I was a library trustee, they were very excited. They made it a point to say that how great it is that the library has got a connection with the home. They both live in the home for the deaf. And they just went on and on about how it meant so much to them that no other library has done this, or at least in this area.
Yeah, no, this library has never had a connection with the
And
homes for the
that
deaf
they just
before now.
wanted me to bring forth that it means so much to them that we're doing what we're doing.
Yes, thank you.
And it makes them feel welcome, and it makes them feel appreciated, and they said it all in 2 seconds. They went, but they really were very excited that I was a library trustee.
Thank you for that story. I appreciate it.
Anybody else? All right. Anyone want to move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Okay, second.
Jess and Jess and Ken.
Ken hasn't
Jess-
gotten anything.
Jess and
I can
Ken.
get
Okay. All in favor?
Hi.
What is the time?
8:20.
8:20.
1.
8:20.
8:21.